Hi everyone. A few people from my UWG 1101 class have asked that I turn my lesson on course schedule planning and building into an instructional video so that they can see it over and over. I am going to share this on YouTube publicly, so any other students who want to see this can have access to it. I do want to make a quick caveat before we start clicking around and looking at really how to build your schedule. This video does not stand in place of an appointment with your advisor. Make sure that you are seeing your advisor to talk about your specific classes, to talk about schedule changes you may need to make, where your credit hours are, anything like that. This is just good advice from somebody who has done advising here for several years, but this does not stand in place of any information that your advisor gives you or in place of an appointment with your advisor. So make sure you're doing that. With that said, let's go into some course schedule planning and building things on the West Georgia website. You want to start on the home page. First, you want to find what your actual registration date is. So go up here to this A to Z index. This is probably your best friend, most important button on the whole West Georgia homepage. Click on that. And we want to go to the scoop. So go to the S's and then down here to the scoop. From there, you can go into General and Registration Information. Click on Registration Dates and Schedule. And you'll find the upcoming registration dates. Now, I am making this video in October of 2017, so right now this is the Spring 2018 registration schedule. This will change each semester, obviously, to show the upcoming one, so make sure that if you're watching this video later on and not in the current semester when I'm recording it, that you actually go and click on this link yourself and find your date. Most freshmen are going to register on October 30th and 31st this year, and it is according to the last two digits of your social security number, not the last two digits of your 917 student ID number. So make sure you know your social security number. If you don't know it, you can probably get it from your parents, and I think it's somewhere in your BandWeb, but make sure that you either ask your parents if you don't know it or work to find that out, because that is how your registration date is. So once you found your registration date, mark that on your calendar so you know when that is, and then you can work on building a schedule. I do want to show you one other thing in the scoop before we move on, and that is under Other Important Information, you can find the core. So here's the core curriculum. Yes, you want to talk to your advisor and find out what classes you have left. With specific majors, there are some specific things you need in certain core areas, so you want to make sure you're taking the right thing. But you can also come here to kind of keep track of the core yourself and make sure that you're taking what you need. There's a printable core curriculum that gives it to you in a PDF. You can either save the PDF or you can actually print it out and use it as a checklist. And you can see it does give you information about specific majors, things like that. Again, make sure you're talking to your advisor as well. So once you've taken a look at the core, you've met with your advisor, you know kind of what classes it is that you want to take, now comes the fun part of actually building a schedule. So first I'm going to show you Schedule Builder, and then I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. So if you log into your My UWG, and I will go ahead and log in with mine, you'll go to the BandWeb tab. Now mine might look a little bit different from yours because I've got the faculty staff, but it's the same once you're in BandWeb. Go to the BandWeb tab, and you're going to click on Student Services and Financial Aid. From there, it's Registration and Fee Payment, and then Schedule Builder. And it will reroute, and now we're in Schedule Builder. Now that we're here, the first thing you need to do is select your campuses. For this example, we're only going to select the Carrollton campus, but if you want to take classes in Noonan or online, you can select those as well. And then I'll hit Save and Continue. Now I've already been playing around a little bit in here, so I have a list of courses. You may not have that list of courses already. So let me see. I'm going to select them all and delete them out so that we can start blank and you can see what it looks like totally blank. You do want to check the things at the top to make sure that they are what you want. We're in the Spring 2018 semester. We've selected one campus, that was Carrollton. All instructional modes are fine. If you really don't want, say, online classes or something like that, you can change that here. Do make sure that all parts of a term are selected. You don't want to limit yourself in the term. And then it defaults to open classes only. At this point, most classes are open because registration has not yet begun. Once registration starts on the 23rd, classes will start to close out. So if you want to see only classes that have open seats, keep it on open classes only. But if you want to see all the classes, even classes that might be closed, click change and then you can see all of the classes when you change that to all classes. But for now, we're just going to leave it on open classes only. So we want to add the courses we need. As a freshman, it is likely that in your second semester, you'll need English 1102. So we will find English 1102. We'll add that. You may still need your world history class, so we'll add that. We'll do history 1111. If you took, say, Bio 1 your first semester, you might want Bio 2 your second semester. So we'll go to biology and find that 1108 and add the course. Now to get these courses, this is something that you would do with your advisor to find out which classes it is that you need to take. So keep in mind, this video is just an example. This doesn't necessarily pertain to every single second semester student. We're just using these courses to show you what a schedule could look like. Make sure you add the lab to your science classes, so it'll have both on there. Let's see, that's 3. Let's go ahead and add the next math. You might need pre-cal that second semester. So we'll put in math 1113 pre-cal, and let's see, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 14 hours. I really want at least 15. Maybe I'll stick an area B2 class on there. So let's look at that. Library. Oh, I don't see library 1101. Okay, so we'll do a film class. We'll do film 2080, and this is in the core area C. This is that fine arts elective that can count as. So let's say these are the classes that you want to take. So the pretty reasonable second semester schedule. We have all of our courses. Now you're going to click to go back to Schedule Builder. There's not a button on this screen that says save or anything like that, which can kind of freak you out, but it's okay. I promise it'll save it. Go back to Schedule Builder. All of your classes are there. You can add in breaks, like if you didn't want Tuesday, Thursday classes, you might add in to restrict those days. If you didn't want 8 a.m. classes, you might add that as a restriction. I would advise you not to add any breaks in unless you have a really, really good reason, because you don't want to limit yourself on great professors. But if you do have a great reason, like you work or you live really far away and so you're commuting and maybe you only want to come in a couple days, then you can add a break and you'll just click this add a break button. As it is, I'm just going to go ahead and hit generate schedules and see what we get. This has generated 1,000+ schedules. So that's a lot to go through. So you may want to build by hand, or you may just want to take a look at what Schedule Builder comes up with. So let's look at one. When you look at a schedule, it will give you all the information you need to register. It gives you the dates and times, tells you the instructional mode, these are all face-to-face, and it tells how many seats are open in the course. Then it blocks your schedule off so you can see it in a weekly layout. And you can look at who's teaching the classes, decide if you like those professors, decide if you like these times. If you do really like a class, you can lock it in. But if you don't like a class, you don't necessarily have to lock it in. And then when you go to look at other schedules, it'll hold what you've locked in. And then you can go and you can generate schedules again. And it will generate schedules that have that particular class you chose locked in. Okay. So that's how you do that on Schedule Builder. Once you have a schedule on Schedule Builder that you like let's say we really like this particular schedule, you can send it to your registration cart and it will send it to your bandweb so that you can have it there when you register. I also want to look though at how to do a schedule by hand, because all these options for schedules are 1,000+ different schedules, can be kind of overwhelming, and you might have an idea of courses that you really do want. So let's look at how to do it by hand. Come back to the West Georgia homepage, click on Academics, and then Schedule of Classes. Make sure that you're looking at Spring 2018 and Undergraduate Subject Listing. Click there. And this brings up all of the different courses, course topics that the university offers. So this is where you'll find English or history or math. So let's look at history as an example. Remember, we wanted that history 1111 class. So when you're here on the class schedule, you can see all the different sections of History 1111. So we're going to look at this first one here, and there's a lot of good information that you get on the class schedule. You get the CRN, that's the course registration number. That is the number that you need to type into BandWeb, and I'll show you where in a minute, in order to register for that class. So make sure that you write down the CRNs of any courses you want to take. You'll also see your subject and course number, the section number, how many credit hours, and the title of the course. All of that on this first line is very important information. You want to make sure that you're taking the right course that works in your core or towards your degree. Do double check that you are on the correct campus. If this section number is in the 90s, so 91, 92, etc., it will be on the Noonan campus, but it will say Noonan right here. So do make sure you double check just in case. We know that we're in spring 2018. These dates are the whole semester. This tells us when the class meets. This is a Monday, Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:45 class. We don't know the building and room yet, so you might want to leave some space on either side of this, at least 15 minutes, because if you have to go, say, from biology to TLC, then you might not want just 5 minutes between classes. So you want to pay attention to where the buildings are so that you plan a schedule that works for you. This one's still TBA. I bet it will be in TLC because it has 200 seats, and so that's where most of the lecture halls are, but it could be somewhere else, so just keep an eye on that. You want to look at the open seats to know how many seats are available and how many seats there are total. Right now there's lots available because registration hasn't officially started, and we see that this is a 200 seat class, so we know that this one's in a lecture hall. That might be something that you really enjoy and that you find is totally okay, and so great, you can register for a class with 200 seats. You might want a smaller class with only 35 seats, so you can see that there. Under open seats, you can see the total and if there's seats open. You'll see the instructor listed. That's very important. You can talk to your friends. You can, with a grain of salt, use Rate My Professor. You want to be kind of careful using that. Sometimes the opinions may not line up with yours, so talk to your friends, talk to your advisor, see if you can get some professor recommendations from students that you know to choose your professors. And then make sure you look at anything under additional information. This one just says that it meets a core requirement, but if there are any prerequisites, or if the class is partially online, or if there's anything else that West Georgia thinks that you need to know about that class, it will be right here under additional information. One thing I suggest you do is go ahead and make a chart for yourself with the days of the week going across the top and times in about half-hour increments going down the side, so that when you're creating your schedule, you can actually block it out on a sheet of paper so you know that there's no time conflicts. Once you have your schedule created, you've written down all the CRNs, you'll want to come back to your BandWeb. Now you can't actually do this until your registration opens, but I do want to show you how. So you'll go into BandWeb, back to Student Services, back to Registration and Fee Payment, and then Add Drop Classes. Do not mess with this Withdraw from Classes button. This will mess with your current schedule, so don't touch it unless you're actually planning to withdraw from a class, and talk to your advisor first. To add and drop classes, you'll click that Add Drop button, make sure it's on the right semester, and hit Submit. If you're not at your registration date, you may not be able to actually see this screen right now. But once you register, once it's your time to register, you should be able to see this. So you'll put your CRNs in all these boxes and hit Submit Changes. If there was any sort of issue with your registration with a class, maybe it was full or you don't meet a prerequisite, it'll register you for everything that you can register for, and it'll give you an error message and tell you why. Sometimes you need to contact your advisor to find out why there was an error message if it's not something that you understand. So that is how you would do your schedule in Schedule Builder and how you would do it by hand. So remember, academics, schedule of classes, click the right semester, and then you can look at all the different courses to find out what classes are being offered and create a great schedule for you. Thanks.